good day, wherever you are. Thank you for being here with me. Please find yourself a comfortable seated position. These classes are always for you to take time away from your schedule and take care of yourself. And these 40, 45 minutes that you could give yourself, if it's every day or once a week, whenever you can fit it in, are really important because we can't take care of others unless we take the time to take care of ourselves first, to fill up our own vessel so that we can give to others. So, with that said, please do what feels good to you. Today's class will be about paying attention to where you are and what you need. So let's start to bring in our awareness into our bodies. Inhaling in a breath, lifting up tall through the spine. With each inhalation, bringing in the energy, your energy from anywhere else that where it may be. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back with the breath. Inhaling, filling up your vessel, and exhaling, letting out what isn't yours. So finding both sit bones on your mat, lengthening with each inhalation, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the neck, maybe taking a few rolls or just rocking back and forth with your head. Maybe gently closing the eyes if you like. You don't have to. Maybe just soften the gaze. And playing with moving your pelvic bone, tilting back and forth, feeling what is in alignment for you. How can you sit up tall without over extending, stretching your lower back? Finding your center and inhaling the breath up, all the way lengthening up the spine, sitting up tall, exhaling out, release. Very nice. Let's pair the breath now with some movement. So I'm going to sit back on my mat so I can reach out. So go ahead and inhale up. Nice. Exhale, forward fold, just in place. Let your hands land wherever you are. If your head can come down to your mat, that's great. It doesn't need to. I just want to be relaxed. And then walking back up to center with your fingers, and then inhaling the arms up. Big inhalation, exhale, release. You can bring your hands through center and prayer pose. And come into a bow here. Walking the hands up again. Inhaling up. Nice big breath. Bringing in the energy, your own energy, filling your vessel. And exhale, release. Very nice. Taking the hands behind the back, we're going to interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the heart here. Inhale, make some space in your chest for that breath. Take a few breaths here. Just go ahead and fill up your chest, fill up your heart. Noticing how you feel, bringing in what you need. Maybe squeezing those shoulder blades again, reminding yourself to open up. And then exhale, release. Very nice. Inhale, lift up, lift up, lift up. And then exhale, bringing one hand to your side and reaching over with the other. Coming into a nice side stretch. Hi, Diego. Nice lengthening in the side. Very nice. Coming through center. Release. A few head rolls. Inhale, both arms up. Reach, lift. Go ahead and take another breath. And exhale to the other side. So if these are your first movements of the day, be gentle and just do what feels good in your body. Maybe you notice you need to do a few stretches, that the stretches feel good. Right? I always notice that in the morning when I'm sort of stiff. And this feels really nice, but I can only move slowly, gently. This time we'll inhale up and then just take one arm reach, the other arm reach, like you're grabbing the stars. Very nice. Release the arms, head, neck, shoulders, and then tilting the chin to the chest, taking a nice, slow, and large circle with the head. Remember to breathe. And then going in the other direction. Very nice. One more time. Inhale, both arms up. Reaching all the way up. Really opening, lifting the heart here. Lengthening the spine. And then bringing in that energy. Exhale, release. Forward fold. Walk those fingertips up to the top of your mat. And inhale into your lower back. Very nice. Walking the hands up. We'll take a couple twists now. So maybe even adjusting your seated position if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and inhale up and then exhale, twisting to your right. Holding for a moment, remembering to breathe. And coming through center, inhale up and exhale the opposite direction. Very nice. Again, inhaling up and exhale, release, twist. Continuing the twist by looking over the back shoulder and taking a breath here. Very nice. Inhaling up and exhale, twist. Very good. Coming through center, taking both legs out in front of you now. Let's flex and point the toes. Go ahead and take some circles with the ankles. Notice how your feet, ankles, legs, calves, thighs feel. And then adjusting, making sure both sit bones are even and on the mat. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. I always have to remind myself, right? You even give yourself a little neck and shoulder massage. Right? Tell yourself it's okay. It's okay to let go, if just for a little while. Very nice. Bringing the hands down to the side, flexing the feet, and then inhaling up, lifting the arms, lifting the chest, and then exhale, release. Find your toes. And this first forward fold will be gentle. You don't have to pull on your toes with your hands and come down to the thighs, not yet. Just inhale into the lower back, beginning to create some space. Very nice. Walking the hands up through center, sitting up tall, releasing the shoulders away from the ears, and inhaling, arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Finding your toes, finding your ankles, wherever your hands land. And maybe coming a little closer now to your thighs. Slowly, slowly relaxing into the posture. Remember to breathe. Very nice. One more time. Walking the hands up, sitting up tall, shoulders away from the ears, and inhaling up. Maybe even looking up, leaning back just a little bit. And exhale, release, forward fold. Mind your toes. Very nice. Walking up, coming onto your knees now. And go ahead and sit back on the ankles, on your heels. And I want to stretch out the hands and wrists and forearms a little bit. So we'll start by giving a nice little rub, nice little wake up. Let let this let your body know that right now we're working on the arms, right? And you can start to move your wrists back and forth, maybe make some circles. Very nice. And then with the fingers facing back towards your toes, I'm just going to play with bringing the palms down to the mat. So if you could see this hand here, right? Because this can be a really intense stretch for some. So you can bring your hands down to your side. And if your palms can come down with ease here, you can move it forward slightly. Right? Just play with what you are able to do. And then find that spot that there isn't pain, but it feels like your edge, that you're lengthening this muscle in your arm. We'll just pause, create some stillness. Remember to breathe. Very nice. And release. That's intense, right? So release gently. Let the arms, hands, wrists unfold, and you can give yourself a little massage again. Saying thank you, hands. Thank you, wrists. And then now to do The opposite stretch, we're going to place the tops of our hands onto our mats. So the same thing. You just bring them down, your arms down to your side. See if the tops of your hands can be flat on the mat or flattish. And this may be enough. And then if you want, you can play with slowly moving forward for a little deeper stretch. And then find your edge and then just pause there, holding, breathing, noticing what comes up for you. Lovely. And exhale, inhale, release, unfolding. One last little massage for your wrists, saying thank you, you're so strong. And inhaling out, we're going to go ahead and stay on your ankles if you can. If you need to adjust your seat, that's fine. Otherwise, we will inhale. Like you're going to give someone a long lost friend a great big hug. Inhaling and then exhaling, go ahead and hug yourself. Walk those fingertips as far back as they can. Fingertips are probably not going to touch. I don't know. My body doesn't do that. Maybe yours does. And so whatever arm, notice what arm is on top of the other here. And we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do the other arm is going to be on top next. So we're going to go ahead and inhale for a great big hug. And then exhale, taking the opposite arm out in front of the other, top of the other. And just breathe. How does it feel to give yourself this hug? Very nice. Go ahead, exhale, release. This time we're going to inhale, both arms up, breathe into the heart, and then take the wrist of one arm and reach, folding over. Very nice. And then taking that hand, now that was holding the wrist of the other hand, and go ahead and push it back so that it's on top of your shoulder. And then take the elbow up. So we're having a nice elongation here of the tricep. So you can push it up. Right? My arm needs a little help to keep the elbow up, right? I'm gonna do my best here. Create that length. And exhale, release. Take a few body rolls. I'm noticing what feels good in my body. Like I do a posture and then what do I need next? So I invite you to do the same thing as we go and move through these postures, that if you need to do something different than what I'm doing, right, we want to be aware of our bodies and be aware of what we need, and then to take a moment to give ourselves that, right? So same thing, inhaling up, grabbing the opposite wrist now this time with the opposite hand, leaning slightly over to create a side stretch. Very nice. Coming through center, this time dropping that hand that you were grabbing and placing behind the back. And then taking the elbow, and just helping this hand to stay up so that your fingers are on your back. And remember to breathe. And go ahead and release. Very nice. Now I feel like just folding over. So let's go ahead and come into a child's pose. Now, with our knees together, you can take your head over your knees or onto your knees, and just instead of walking the fingertips up, we're going to have the hands just rest behind us, top of your toes. Very nice. And release. Let's come onto our hands and knees for our tabletop and take one leg out behind and stretch it, lengthen, and then the other, lengthen. And then finding your knees beneath your knees, beneath hips, hands beneath the shoulders, come into our tabletop. And then let's take a few cat and cows. So breathing into our cat, rounding the back, pushing away the mat, inhaling and exhaling, tilting the pelvic bone, wagging your tail, looking up to the sky, and then moving between cat and cow at your own pace. Taking any authentic movement here. Remember what I've talked about? Just doing what feels good in your body. What movements, what stretching feels good to you. Very nice. I'm gonna inhale one arm up and exhale, bringing it all the way down to the mat, ear to the mat. Nice twist and shoulder stretch here. Pushing up with that hand that's near your face, coming back in through our cat and cow, our tabletop, making some movements that feel good. Then finding center, and then inhaling in the other arm, inhaling up, and then exhaling, bringing it all the way down to your mat, shoulder on the mat, ear on the mat. Very nice. Pushing up, coming through center. Very good. Let's walk the hands out in front just a little bit. Go ahead and tuck the toes, and then pushing the hips up, coming into a downward facing dog. And walk this dog. One heel down to the mat at a time, lengthening your hamstrings. Maybe nodding yes and no. Remember to relax the head and shoulders. Very nice. And then with your hands walking up to meet your toes, bringing the feet a little closer together here, lifting up, inhaling halfway look up, exhale forward fold, coming into a nice deep dangle. You can hold opposite elbows, slight bend in the knees, maybe even rocking back and forth gently. And releasing the arms and coming up ever so slowly, one vertebrae on top of the next at a time, until your head comes up on the shoulders. Inhaling the arms up, looking up to the sky, slight back bend. And again, bringing in that energy, bringing the breath back into yourself. Placing both hands on your chest if you like. Noticing how you feel. Very nice. Go ahead and shake it out. We stand up. Notice how you feel. Just take the feet to the outside of the mat and do some twists. Let the arms swing, land on your torso wherever they land. Keeping that nice little bend in the knees. Hold our balance. Appreciate that you've shown up today. All right, here we are. This is great. So go ahead and shake it out. We're going to bring the feet a little closer together now and come up on the tippy toes. We're just going to rock back and forth. So if you can come up on your tippy toes, maybe you can hold here for a moment, or if you need to hold on to something, if you're near your couch or a chair, see what it feels like to walk around. And then just play with rocking back and forth from your heels to the toes. Maybe walk around on your heels for a moment. All right, this practice and this time is for you, so why not have some fun? And play some music, march around. And then finding a center's point. We'll do some balance poses. So rocking back and forth, smaller and smaller on both feet until you find your perfect balance. All right, so nice through center. Both legs are strong. Maybe open the hands up, palms up to the sky. Again, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And just taking a moment to breathe into your heart space, filling up your vessel. Very nice. And then we'll do our tree pose. So starting to bring our weight onto just one of our feet, one leg, and then you just play with lifting the toe up of the other leg. Maybe even move this leg around. What does that feel like? And it could be enough to just keep one toe on the ground. Right? But if it's in your practice, you start to bring the leg up, your other leg, right? Skip the knee. Maybe you can bring your foot up to your thigh. Ooh. If you fall over, that's okay. If you have like I said, the chair, something to hold on to help with balance, that's okay. And you could just lift your hand up, right? We all sort of shake a little sometimes, right? Sometimes it's difficult to find our balance. Just got to keep trying. So finding a spot in front of you that isn't moving, we could begin to play with our branches. Imagine what sort of tree you are. Very nice. And release. Shake it out. Walk around, march around again. Have some fun wherever you are. And then we'll set up to do it on the other side. So let's move back and forth, right? Finding that nice center spot from the toes to the heels, smaller and smaller until you find your alignment. Maybe saying a little prayer or an intention. And then this time we'll move the weight on to the other leg. And then again, start to balance, play with our balance. So taking the toe of the other foot onto the ground, lifting it up. Feel. And then finding your tree pose. I'm going to see how malleable my branches are. And if you fall, just try again. Whew. Very nice. Release. Shake it out. Walk it out. Listen to your stomping music. Very good. Let's inhale both arms up. Nice long lengthening here. Inhale up to the sky. Think about filling up your vessel. Exhale all the way down to your toes. Release. Maybe walking the feet back and forth. Remembering doing what feels good to you. Inhale, halfway look up. Hi, sweetheart. And release. One more time. I'm going to walk our hands back into our downward facing dog. Very nice. Go ahead and walk this dog. One heel on the mat at a time. We're going to go ahead and set up for a deep hip opener. So coming through center, finding stillness in your downward facing dog, and then inhaling one leg up, three-legged dog. Inhale again, and exhale. Bring that leg out in front of you. In between the hands, the knee between the hands, come into our pigeon pose. So if you're at home and you have a pillow and you can put it underneath your hip, I invite you to do that. Otherwise, we'll hold here for a moment. Maybe you soften your gaze. We want to hold the posture so that the parasympathetic system can begin to relax and we can soften into the posture, right? Falling deeper and deeper. So maybe you come down to your elbows if you can. You know, if this is your limit, that's great. If it hurts your wrist, you can maybe come in to make a fist. So find a posture or position that feels good for you. It works for your body. And then find some stillness. Just breathe into those places of tension. Maybe softening your gaze. Coming back to the breath. How nice. And we'll release just by leaning over onto that hip and bringing both legs in front of us now. It's very nice. I want to show the modification for that pose. So the same leg, I had my right leg in front. I would come down to my back, place my right ankle over my left knee, and then hug my left leg. So we're making the same shape, but in a modified position, maybe a little more gentle on the body. So you can do that for the next leg if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll set up and we'll do it the same way on the other side. I'm just starting by shaking my legs out. I'm going to bring both feet to center, the soles of my feet together, and hold here for a moment, noticing how my hips feel, how my legs feel. How do you feel? Very good. And coming through our tabletop, and then tucking the toes, walking the hands out a little bit, and then pushing up, coming into our downward facing dog, walking this dog. And finding stillness. And inhale up the opposite leg, the other leg that you did before. Come into our three-legged dog. Inhale and exhale, bringing that leg in front of you, coming into pigeon pose on the other side. And then finding the posture that works for you today. You could do the modification. You can stay up on your hands. You can come down to your elbows. And breathe into those places of tension. Each exhalation letting go of what doesn't belong to you. Other people's expectations. Mm? Maybe that pain in your body is just someone else's idea for you. Starting to think now what you'd like to fill yourself up with. Love, compassion, strength. Each inhalation bringing in what you need, exhaling out what no longer serves you. And then releasing out of this posture, slowly coming down on your hip, bringing both feet in front of you now. Maybe windshield wipering. And then coming all the way down into our backs. We're going to bring, actually, I like my legs out long. So go ahead, let's reach out overhead and just lengthen the body, pointing the toes towards one wall, reaching the fingers towards the opposite wall. Inhaling into the heart space. How do you feel? And then now bringing both legs up, giving yourself a hug, rocking back and forth. We're going to set up to come into a twist, supine twist. So you can modify if you like. You can bring both knees down to one side. We'll go to the left first, so teeing out the arms. And you can just drop both knees over to your left. Or if you'd like, you could take the left leg out long and then just drop the right knee over. Come into a twist. And breathing here. Letting the body relax. Twists are detoxifying. So just knowing that you don't have to do anything. You just have to show up and do the practice. And coming through center, out of the twist, maybe hugging the legs, the body rocking back and forth gently, getting set up to do the twist on the other side. Inhale and exhale, twist. And unraveling slowly, bringing both legs up, rocking back and forth. Anything that feels good. Anything that feels good in your body right now. I think it feels like a nice back massage to roll back and forth. Maybe you like to come into a plow, reaching the feet overhead, lifting your um, pelvic bone up, taking any movement that feels good in your body before we come down into our final pose of Shavasana. Letting the toes fall out on either side of you. Hands away from your body, arms away from your body, palms up to the sky. Now the only movement is your breath. And as your thoughts appear to you, bring your attention back to your breath. And I invite you to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, we'll begin to bring some movement back into the body, stretching the arms overhead, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling up through fetal position, and meeting one more time in a comfortable seated position. Find your half lotus if you like, maybe one leg in front of the other, hands resting on your knees or hands at heart center. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for showing up for yourself, and thank you for spending the time giving yourself the nourishment that we all need, right? That you need. So today we'll end our class with an Om. Hands at heart center. Inhale for Om. Om. And so your third eye. May you always see beauty. May you always hear truth. And may you always know love. Namaste.